Okay. I like the intro.
Ooh. You gotta get some rock going midday-ish.
Gets you going. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it. I was grooving with it.
get ourselves pumped up.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited you are here, Kevin. I'm really, really happy to chat with you today. Welcome to the Social Video Playbook. This is our space for the next 15-ish minutes, where we're going to talk through all things social video happening right now. So what are some of the good things happening? What are some of the bad things that have worked, that haven't worked? The whole goal is that we are giving fast insights from real leaders, really doing the work in this space, so that we can teach others, like, what does it mean to be in this new social video era? How are people dominating it? How are people digesting all this data that's coming in, and like what are the ways that people are doing this across different industries and different brands and different companies. So I am super excited to chat with you. As I said, I'm Elizabeth Arnold. I'm head of growth at Viral Moment, also host of the Social Video Playbook. And Kevin, tell us about yourself. What are you up to?
Let's do it. First off, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and chat with everyone. Um, yeah, a little bit about me. I've been in the social space for a while now. Um, the background is I went to school for film production. I was like, oh, I'm going to be one of those guys up in LA doing the big movies. And then quickly realized I didn't want to hold a boom mic for the rest of my life, until I hopefully got director position. So I kind of fell into social media. There was this increased demand for short form video, and I had all this video editing experience, and just understanding of storytelling and narrative and all that. And it really came into the forefront. So I started off at like a local brewery, and then really found my footing at Manscaped, where I worked for a while. And then currently at C4 Energy, helping run their socials. But I've been kind of all over the place in CPG, helping with different projects, consulting all across. So I kind of have my hands all over the place in the industry, but I'm just big on social. So love it. Excited to talk.
Yeah, yeah, and you've done some great work. Manscaped, I mean, everyone, there's case studies about some of the work that you and the team over there have done. C4 Energy, I see the stuff coming out. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Kevin, thank you so much for telling us more about yourself. The work you're doing is amazing. Let's go ahead and hop into some of these questions that we have for you. So it's 2025. What is the
Mm-hmm.
number one shift across your industry? You're in kind of like the consumer packaged goods, beverage area right now with C4 Energy. Like, what is the shift in the industry that brands just like aren't ready for?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is just like the speed of social. Like it just feels like everything is faster than ever. Like you really have to be on top of it because there's just so much content volume going out there. So I think just across the board and like even in our industry in general, like it's finding ways to stand out when everyone's attention spans like 3 seconds to before they swipe again. So it just comes down to being able to create content um, at scale that is actually like impactful to your audience.
So speaking of that, how creating content at scale can be really difficult, maybe a little bit easier with all those new AI things coming out. But how is like this need of social video changing the way that brands are making these types of decisions?
I think it's a mix of they're trying to figure it out. I think bigger brands are honestly struggling with it a lot. I think you see like these like smaller brands being able to be more nimble, especially on stuff like TikTok. I think in order to figure it out, you see some brands are starting to hire more in-house people, and then some are trying to figure out like you said with AI and figuring out ways to be able to make a long form piece, then chop it down into multiple short forms, and thinking when you're doing like a big shoot, how can you get behind the scenes content? How can you get other types of content that adds on and is more social first? And I think that's been a big shift that I've been watching happen.
Yeah, making sure it's social first. I've seen that too. I think there's been a lot of new roles that are opening up where they're putting
Mm-hmm.
more power behind social marketers and social media players in the space, to try and get that word out.
Yeah.
So it's not easy doing social video. It's not even doing social at all. what is your biggest challenge with social video right now?
I think my biggest challenge right now, it comes back to what I was just saying, is like the competition of views. There's just so much content out there now, and so it's like figuring out how to get in front of someone in a way that grabs their attention. So it's not only like creating a good piece of content, but that good piece of content needs to have a good hook. It needs to have an attention hook that gets you within the first couple seconds. And then you need to deliver on whatever that hook told you about. And then it needs to finish too. So it's just competition. And I think even more than that, like figuring out what type of views you want. Because right now, like you can get views somewhat easily on social, but like what type of quality, and is it after your actual audience you're going after?
Yeah, like how do you get, is it top of funnel marketing? Who are you trying to reach out to, and what messaging do they care about?
Exactly.
How are being in charge of like social media accounts and kind of facing these challenges head on? How are you actually going about figuring out what's working and what's not?
Test. I mean, you just have to always like you can make a 40-page strategy deck, and there's something to having good like content pillars, but things move so quickly. And not even talking about like making trend content, but like you just have to be willing to test things, because what I always say to like my team, to whoever, is if the post didn't perform, it wasn't seen by that many people. So who cares? Like it was seen by such a small number of people that like that's another data point. And I think like, not to say post a bunch of stuff all the time, but the more you post, the more data points you get and the more understanding you have of like what's performing, why isn't it performing, and what are little tweaks that can make you get to like the really high performing stuff. Because like over time, if you're actually testing and even if that's only like 30% of what you're posting is test content, and you can do it via trial reels, you can do it. TikTok lets you test a lot more, even like YouTube Shorts a little bit. Like that's going to help you get ahead by getting closer to understanding exactly what your audience is after.
Yeah. Well, and testing takes time, effort, energy too. But once you figure out what's working, it's nice to be able to lean in.
100%.
If you had unlimited resources, I mean, Kevin, like the world is your oyster. What what would you do to solve this challenge and these problems that you come up against every day?
I would buy myself a Porsche. No, I would.
Drive around on it, make a TikTok video.
I would build a content machine. I would build like a Red Bull-esque thing where the product is the byproduct of the machine. Not to say that talking about the product isn't important, but I would build out just an absolute like machine of like an engine of like, you know, being able to go and film anything that you want. You have the team in-house and are able to do that. That's what I would do, because it's just, you see how quickly a TikToker can turn around content. Brands need to be able to do that, because that's who you're competing against, people like these TikTokers, these YouTubers. And like when you see them start getting successful, what do? They start bringing on some people in-house to help them with stuff so they can scale it. And I think brands should be doing the same thing. And it should be really focused around short form. And then like you can do some long form on YouTube, which I think brands should start doing too.
Yeah. I love your reference back to Red Bull, because I think Red Bull's done such a good content job since they started. I mean, they've led the charge in this for brands for years. And they really know what they're doing when it comes to a content engine. That is
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
So I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to chat about measuring some success and kind of just understanding like what, when you're doing all this testing, like what's really happening. So what, in your opinion, you've done a lot of consulting, a lot of research with a lot of big brands, what is a common mistake that brands are making when they're using or interpreting the social video content?
I think I touched on it earlier a little bit, but like the quality of the view. I think like, like people can be like, oh my God, this got 1 million impressions. Oh my gosh, we went viral. But like, okay, that could have also gone viral to like India if you look at the data. Like you have to make sure that like like data is always going to tell a story, but like you can also manipulate it to tell this whatever story you want. So I really, when it comes to measuring success, it's like for me with short form, for example, we can look at the average watch rate. So like how many seconds in are they actually watching? I like looking at retention because I like to see, are they actually watching through? Because big brands will do a $1 million campaign and their video on social has a 3-second watch time. So they didn't even get through the intro. So like that's always like thinking about that. So it's like, okay, in the first 3 seconds, we either need to talk exactly what this is about or show the celebrity, or like you have to get to the point right away. And so when you're looking at that data, it's like, what is that telling you? And that's also led to a lot of the decisions of like, okay, like, yes, we need to put our celebrity's face in the first couple of seconds so people keep watching. Yeah, I think that it's the quality of the metric too. Like it goes back to, yeah, if you go viral to a random audience that isn't going to buy your product, why does it matter? Like, sure, there's some awareness there, but like I would rather get like 50,000 views to like the exact target audience than 500,000 to a random group of people. So I think it's like figuring out like how much value you put on each metric as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So would you say that the most important thing that brands should be measuring then is the average watch time?
I think it's up there. I think like the more basic ones that like because this is like getting pretty nitty gritty. I think shares and comments matter a lot. Likes are like whatever. I could accidentally double tap a like while I'm like falling asleep, but like a comment means someone took time out of their day to comment. It means they like actually put effort in. And shares are just like ways to really. It's the virtual like voice of mouth. Like it's literally like getting in front of people in their group chats and Instagram DMs, all that stuff. So I value shares, comments well above just like a like. I just think like a like doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to like something. It's a lot more effort to just like make a comment on it or share it to, your friend's chat or a group in TikTok you have.
Yeah, and if you're making good content that they care about, they're going to comment on it, and you're building a space for them to actually engage with. And like like I always try and say, like when I post content, even if it's a meme or something like that, I try and go 80% of the way and give 20% for the audience to respond to. So if I'm telling a joke, I'll say almost all of it and let the people in the comments finish it, because then they're a part of it. Then they feel like more inclined to come back the next time and comment as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and humor is like such a good way to get people to engage too.
100%.
We've touched on this, but are there any additional insights that you think that leaders in your field should act on now that maybe are underrated, ones that they don't really think about a lot or look at that often?
I don't know if insights. I feel like just in general, YouTube Shorts is a really underutilized platform right now. I just really I'm seeing a lot of success across multiple brands on there. The reach
Okay.
is just crazy, and I really like YouTube audiences because they're almost trained to watch more because of long form. So like they give you more of a chance than like someone who's just been on TikTok. So I think Shorts is a bit different than the other platforms, but I would definitely look into figuring out a strategy that works for you on Shorts.
Yeah, I think YouTube, especially with the whole TikTok like could be going away, isn't people are getting annoyed of the saga. Like
Yep.
YouTube Shorts is kind of second place there.
And YouTube's been killing it for a long time, so it's not like they're going anywhere. So you want to start placing your bets in the places that make sense to you.
Yeah. What's a common assumption about social video in general, like the holistic social video concept, like as a whole, that people just get completely wrong? And you're like, nope, not how that works.
People think that like just because it's like short form, like in the format, that it needs to be super short. Like if it's quality content, it doesn't need to be 3-5 seconds. Like as much as that can work, I've seen so many videos that are like 2 minutes long on TikTok with 2 million views. So I think it's like yes, optimize for the platforms, but like always make sure that like quality content is your number one goal.
That's a really good one. I haven't actually heard that before. I like that a lot. Even though it's in short form content, doesn't mean it has to be an actual short video.
Yeah, I mean that's it. It's optimize, as best you can, but like I'd rather you aim for the best content that you can make, and if it's longer, it's longer. But don't always kneel down to the algorithms. Like end of day, you need to make what's best for you and the brand.
Yeah. Speaking of end of day, if you were to get one thing in 2025 that would make social video just easier for your business, what would it be?
Just with like the scale of things, like some sort of a video editor that understands social. I
Okay.
think just more people that understand the social first aspect of things will always be more beneficial. Because like you can have a great video editor, but if they don't understand the nuances, and there's a lot of nuances to short form, it can just take a lot of teaching and learning. But I think even now though, the tools are starting to get a lot better. So even as I think about this answer, I'm like, it's getting even easier to just do the work yourself. Whereas like instead of me having to go out and like go reach for a video editor, I'm like, oh, I could probably just get this done in 20 minutes. So
Yeah, throw it
I might
into.
have just destroyed my own answer there. But welcome
I
to
mean,
my life.
honestly, it's impressive. I was playing around with like Adobe Firefly and like Runway, I think it's called, the other day, and I was like, this is actually really impressive what you can do nowadays.
There's really no excuses not be able to get content out at a good rate because I don't know. I'm like I use Final Cut Pro for a lot of editing stuff, but then like a quick things in CapCut, there's just like there's tools out there, and then yeah, there's all these like AI things that help cut down things, make things quicker, make it just so much easier if you understand it. Then there's no excuse to not get stuff out at scale.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I love
always
that.
more, always more.
Just post more, more content.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Well, we have time for one final question. Kevin, what is one lesson that you've learned from navigating social video that you wish that like more people understood that you want to share?
Um, Organic social is a tough thing for, I think, like people from the higher ups to understand because a lot of other things you can really attribute always the successes, like even like paid social, you can really see the numbers in. And organic is one of those ones where like we have metrics, but like it's hard to always track directly to sales. But I do truly believe it's like the future. I mean, it's already happening, but it's like the future of branding. Because like when someone is sharing something about like a cool brand campaign, was it like 99% of the chance they're sharing it from like a social post now? You're like, oh my God, do you
Mm-hmm.
see this cool thing? Whether it's on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Um, so I just really think that like organic social is so important for branding. And you see, like I can even give the example of like a creator like a Joyride with Ryan Trahan. Like these creators are building brands off of it, and it's the future. So like bigger brands and brands that aren't doing it, like sure it's cheaper now to not like throw money into organic social, but I think they're going to suffer long term.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. You might as well invest in with the AI tools you just mentioned coming out all the time. It's getting easier to do that.
Exactly.
That is amazing. Kevin, thank you so much for 15 minutes of your time. I really appreciate it. For everybody that's watching, Kevin posts some amazing content. Follow him on LinkedIn. Check out the stuff that he's doing for C4 Energy as well. And just chat with him if you have any questions about social or want some help with strategy. He is awesome. Kevin, thank you so much for your time. I
Thanks so
really
much.
appreciate it.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.